Hey everybody, it's Shamika. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share my videos. I appreciate your support. We are going to talk about five things that you may not know about your business credit, okay? So before I do that, let me start off by saying business credit is not a race. It is a pace, okay? You will not be able to keep up with the other person because you do not know what they have in their credit history or profile. And I don't just mean their business credit history or profile. I mean their personal credit history and profile as well, okay? You also do not know if this individual has capital, if they have income, if they have prior year taxes, okay? So there are a lot of things that play into what an individual can get with their business credit versus just having a good score. So that is what I want to make sure that you guys understand. That is why I say business credit is a pace, not a race. Okay. You are in competition with only yourself. All right. So let's go ahead on and start. Number one, anyone can check your business credit score. I bet you guys didn't know that, but they can for a fee. There is no notification that you will be given. Individuals who want to do business with you have the right to check your business credit. You're going to, of course, give up your information when you're applying. You just may never know that they did or did not pull. Now, you will know if they do an inquiry and it pulls on your personal credit, but you will not know on your business credit. How many times have you applied for a business credit card, but you still have yet to see an inquiry, right? Because they probably only pulled it on your personal credit side and peeked at your business credit and did not even pull a hard inquiry. So please make sure that you know that, okay? Not only is that vital that you know that, it is also important that you make sure that your scores are where they need to be. Who hates finding out that you got denied because you have a 30-day beyond term, okay? And if anyone has ever paid a bill late, and it has been reported, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is no different than on your personal credit. It is the nicest way of saying late pay. 30 days beyond payment, 60 days beyond, or 90 days. It continues and continues. They just say late pay in a fancy way, okay? It can actually wreak havoc on your score. So you don't want to be out there applying if you know that score is not ready. So please do yourself a favor. If you have a nav.com account, hopefully you have a paid one, but if you have a free one, if you have an A or a B, that should at least give you some indication you have a decent, healthy score. Me, I'm not going with those letters. I need numbers. So I would recommend that you pay. If you do not have a link to sign up for a paid service on Nav, please go below. I have one in my video details, okay? So make sure you're checking your credit, and please know that they can check your credit anytime and you will not know, okay? The second thing is, now I do not agree with this, okay? I'm just going to say this actually, I'm actually regurgitating some information that came from Black Enterprise News, and I disagree, but I'm just going to go ahead on with this. But it says business credit starts when you get a EIN number. And if you guys know what an EIN number, that's that number that you get that you have to use when you are reporting information to the IRS about employees, wages, income, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Once your LLC, corporation, or whatever your business structure is, except for a sole proprietor or doing business as, fictitious name, whatever you want to call it in your state, you cannot build business credit on that. But if you have an actual corporation, an LLC, nonprofit, you can build business credit on those. Also, if you have a partnership, LLP, any of those things too, because I know you guys are going to ask. But this says that business credit starts when you get an EIN. I think your business starts when you get an EIN, because the whole point of having an EIN is to report wages to the IRS. Who wants to have a business and to continue to show that you made $0 every year, and then you wonder why you can't get any funding? That is why when people call me and ask, hey, Shamika, do you know where I can find funding? I do lots of consultations, and one of the first 3 questions I ask is, have you filed taxes on your business? And if you did you show an income, or did you have a negative amount because you were using the Schedule C to write down your expenses because you didn't pay enough in personal taxes, okay? So you need to ask yourself those questions because we are not trying to go to the bank and say, hey, I need a loan for $50,000, but last year I made negative $80,000. It's not going to happen, folks, okay? So although, yes, you do need an EIN number, I don't believe it begins the business credit process, but you do need one. So as soon as your LLC, corporation, nonprofit is approved, you then need to go and get an EIN. Then, do you know how many people actually go and fill out for an EIN and they just applied for the LLC, don't even know if it's going to get approved or not? You probably didn't even check your business name to make sure that nobody else has the same name. And that's actually going to come up again here. So before you go and you waste your money, and even though an EIN is free too, make sure you do the legwork beforehand, people. Search. Do a simple name search. Make sure nobody has the name that you plan to use. All right? So EIN comes after it's approved. Once it's approved, that is yours. You now go and get that EIN number. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you, since I disagree with this, I'm going to tell you what I believe starts the process of business credit. A DUNS number. Okay? DUNS. If you want to start to report on a business credit report, you're going to need the DUNS number, okay? The EIN is great. That is for tax reporting purposes only. The DUNS number is for business credit reporting. Those are two different things. Same amount of numbers, 9 digits, but they do two totally different things, issued from two totally different agencies. So you need them both. If you have a DUNS, then your business credit, in my opinion, that's when it starts, okay? 3, it says business credit scores include demographic information, all right? For the slow folks, your business credit scores tell who you are, where you live. Sometimes, and in some cases, depending on how deep they go in the weeds with the data, they can probably even tell what color you are just based off of simple statistics, okay? Now, did you know your business credit includes how long you've been in business? That's a given. The number of employees you have. That comes from you when you guys report that information, whether it be on your taxes or when they ask you information. That comes from you. And this is, to me, the most important. Your business industry classification. How many of you guys have no idea what a NAICS code, a North American Classification Industries something. I forgot what the S stands for, okay? But who has no idea what an NAICS is? And if you do not, you should type that in, NAICS, and you should find a code that represents the type of business that you are in. Why? Because this NAICS codes depends so heavily on how or if you're going to get money. Not just how, if, and who. Okay? Now, give you an example. Marijuana industry, very new industry. That industry is an industry that a lot of lenders will not give any money because it is high risk, okay? Now, if you guys go and watch my previous credit videos, I talked about this ad nauseum, okay? In the beginning, I talked about it over and over because a lot of you guys get it wrong. Everybody's rushing to go get that car in their name. But nobody's thinking about, well, I'm never going to be able to get any money because my business doesn't even state what it does. Even if you make shirts, even if you are a garbage man, there is a classification code for you, okay? Let me tell y'all something. The government has thought of everything, okay? That is why they barely lose when they take people to court on these federal charges, because they try to think of everything. So you have no reason or no excuse other than not knowing to not have your information. But now you can't say you don't know because I done told you, okay? So make sure you have that NAICS code. That is very, very important. And a bank can tell right away, oh, this NAICS code means gambling. I don't want to have anything to do with it. Oh, this NAICS code is a smoke shop. A lot of people have smoke shops. Oh, I don't want to deal with that. You have to be mindful on what it is. Now, let me say this. Although you guys can have the perfect NAICS code, it can be something in real estate. It could be something in consulting. Some of those are very low risk NAICS categories where you can get money. But if your personal credit isn't good, if your business credit isn't good, if your business isn't generating any money, if you don't have any previous tax returns to show that your business has or can generate money, you still will find yourself in the same position as a person with no business credit. And that position is no money, okay? So this is just a part of the process. It is not all of the process, okay? Business credit is more than I got a Navy Federal credit card that's business. So that doesn't mean anything. When people say, well, I got a Navy Federal, they say that to me, I got a Navy Federal credit card. So does that mean that Navy Federal is going to report on your business credit report? It doesn't. Do you know? Have you pulled your credit report to even see? Have you asked Navy Federal? I've seen some business credit cards that actually report on a personal credit report because it just says business. But if you read the fine print, it's a personal card, okay? So please know what you're talking about before you go around and you thinking you know and you looking foolish, okay? So business credit is more than just a credit card, guys, all right? Business credit really, in my opinion, is an individual being able to have the business, one that runs, that makes money, okay? Because individuals will be able to see how much a company makes. How? By that EIN number. When you file your taxes, that is a way for the IRS to report, because it's tied to your EIN. That's your business. Individuals can see how much money a company has made. If you don't believe me, you can go and find out what nonprofits made, how much people have donated to them. These types of things are not private, guys. Okay, you can know. So if I can know and go and look your business up and see how much money you made, you need to be able to do the same thing. And creditors can do the same thing, or banks or lenders can do the same thing. And this may be why they are not dealing with you, okay? Number 4, business credit makes some information in your business public. How many of y'all have talked to me and said, man, I'm trying to learn how to do a UCC because I'm trying to transfer. You know, all y'all be watching these videos on YouTube and y'all get all these wonderful brainy ideas, but you are not thinking smart enough to go and have several businesses so that you can practice some of these things that you've learned versus having your one business and doing everything on that one, okay? The crazy part about that is anything that you do now can be seen, and this is also going to be the business that you're going to be applying to get money for. They are not going to want to deal with you, okay? If you have a UCC, okay, somebody loaned your business money, okay? Basically, that's what that is. I loaned your business money, and instead of doing a good old-fashioned sale agreement or some type of a agreement that we made, or a loan agreement, you could put a UCC on somebody's business, basically saying, hey, this person owes me this amount of money, and I'm gonna sit it there, okay? Now, a lot of people think that is great and fine and dandy, but did you also know that if you did not pay the SBA, if say you got an EIDL loan and you did not pay your money back to the SBA, and your loan was over $25,000 or more, they will put a UCC on your credit report. And when they put it on there, it's negative. So some of you guys, if you're going to be trying all these things, make sure you're not using your one business. Have several so that you can try and practice, so that you can see, and don't use those businesses to be the ones that you're going to use to get the money, because, well, you may screw your own self. And I don't recommend that you do that. All right. So if you have bankruptcies on your business, that is going to show. And I can tell you right now, if you have bankruptcies on your business and you're a small business owner, you might as well go on and shut that business down, unless your business is making a considerable amount of money and you maybe have filed like a Chapter 11 and you maybe got a little bit of reorganization. But once you do those things, honey, I'm telling you, it is going to be tough to get someone to give you money. And if you're a small business owner, you ain't really making that much money, it may just be better to close that DUNS number, that EIN, start over and build your business credit again under a different number, all right? Another thing, a lien. If you owe the IRS money, then just say that, because they're going to say it, because they're going to put it right on your credit report as a lien, guys. You do not want that. Again, if you find yourself in this situation, you may want to go up to the first option and file bankruptcy. then you might want to close the business down again and start yourself over fresh. There is nothing wrong with filing bankruptcy on your business. Some questions y'all need to be asking is, if I file, is it also going to show up on my personal credit? Okay. Now, Chapter 11 is a business bankruptcy, but it absolutely does show up on individuals' personal credit report. Things change all the time, but those are some of the things that you should be inquiring about, because now, how can you get yourself free? Even if you have a bankruptcy on your business credit, if it also shows up on your personal credit, you ain't really going to be able to get any credit, because who's going to want to give you any money with that bankruptcy? And a Chapter 11 is for a period of time. It's not like a Chapter 7 where it just goes and comes and is closed and you're out. It's not that way, okay? So these things are important. While y'all running out here getting business credit, please know about the ugly stuff that you may not be aware of. Public details, okay? Now, I'm going to give y'all one. And this is even something I had to work on to fix. When I first started my business, I was just doing whatever, didn't really know what I was doing, and I had a fictitious name. I still have a fictitious name, or a doing business ass name, or for the slow people, a fake name, okay? So if you have one of those on your, with your business, okay, and it's tied to the EIN, did you know that no matter where or what you write down when you're filling out applications for things, for example, as long as that EIN is showing that fictitious name is tied to the actual LLC or corporation, you know, on that EIN letter you get from the IRS. So I'm going to tell y'all now, I do not recommend when you fill out an EIN application, do not put your doing business ass name on there. And the reason why I don't recommend you do it is because it stays with you. So say you have a professional LLC name, but your fictitious name is Chi-Chi's Bang Bang Group, you know, or whatever. Now, when you go to apply for something, when they pull up that EIN number, that's what they're going to see. And that is your business name. And that is not what you're going to want people to see as the public details. So unless you got a good answer when they ask you what is Chi-Chi's Bang Bang Group, then I would tell you, please run back to Dun & Bradstreet, okay? Because it's going to be much easier to go through them than it is the IRS. The IRS does not, at least I have not seen a form where you can say, hey, take this off of my EIN, drop this fictitious name off my EIN, okay? I haven't seen it. If you guys have seen it and you know a form, please let me know. So far, I am not aware that they have a form that does that. So the easiest way to correct that, okay, is just to go through Dun & Bradstreet. I see tons of people always talking about information being incorrect on their business. Now, if your address is correct, your name is correct, your phone number is correct, then anything else that is incorrect, you need to go back to Dun & Bradstreet and have them corrected, because that is where this information is populating from and going. Okay, I deal in federal contracts, okay? And although Dun & Bradstreet and the federal government are not working together as they once were, all my information from Dun & Bradstreet automatically populates in the sam.gov website. And if you're familiar with government contracts and sam.gov, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So if there's information that you see that is populating that you don't like, you need to go to Dun & Bradstreet to correct that, okay? So that's that public details that you also don't want to know. Another thing that had happened to me, one time I was in Sam's Club, okay? And if any of you guys ever want to get a Sam's Club card for your business, it is a great card to have. It is a credit card. It is no PG, meaning no personal guarantee. It doesn't show up on your personal credit at all. But let me tell you what they did do. When I walked in and I inquired about the card, they asked me for my EIN, asked me for my DUNS, the business name, the whole nine. They went on Google Earth, guys, right while I was there and typed in the address that came up, and they looked on Google Earth to see if it was a house or if it was a commercial address, okay? So if you guys are using your business address, you are wrong, okay? Because that is actually counterproductive. Actually, you're not a home-based business. Even if you are, they don't need to know that you are. Why? Because we go back to that you're a high risk again. And nobody wants to take a risk on somebody that could be home, working from home, and I'm going to give you $50,000 and you may or may not use it. You might use it to buy a new lawnmower. The banks go crazy about those types of things. So you have to make sure that you are planning before you actually go and ask them for anything, to make sure that you have everything that says low risk. Give me money because it's low risk. And the only way to do that is by following these steps. So they did actually Google my business. They actually Google Earth my business. And they did the satellite thing, and they started asking me questions of what type of location. And luckily, the address that I had given them was an address to a UPS. And if you guys watch my other videos, you'll see I talk about this stuff ad nauseum in my other videos, telling you guys about how to get around and maneuver with this business credit. So if you haven't checked out my business credit videos, you're hurting yourself, okay? Because the game is there, all right? Just watch. You ain't even got to watch, just listen, okay? But I actually have a UPS box, which I recommend everybody get a UPS box, not USPS, not postal office, not post office, brown truck people, UPS. UPS is always in a plaza. They're always going to have a commercial address, and they have mailboxes that they will rent to you. So when you get that address from them, you're using a commercial address. You're just using your box number as to, for them to identify that it's you. So when you go in places like Sam's and they look you up, guess what they're going to see? A strip mall. And they're going to think that you're in that plaza, even though you're not there physically. You see the game? And it's not even trickery or lying. You can do it, okay? It's completely legal, guys, all right? So please make sure that you have that, okay? Because you don't want anybody in your business. And last but not least is, please make sure that nobody else has the same name that your business has. Oh my gosh, okay? I don't know how many people I know have went to Dun & Bradstreet, and a couple things. They type in their address, and a couple businesses have had that address, okay? Now, when you try to get business credit in this new address, it's coming up as somebody else's stuff, but you don't want to deal with the frustration because it's aggravating. If you don't get on that phone with Dun & Bradstreet and tell them to update that information to you, because you're hurting yourself. Now, if you want to go and pay to have an address elsewhere, like the UPS, as I mentioned, not post office, the UPS brown truck people, you can. But if you actually have a location and somebody else is coming up, just call Dun & Bradstreet to fix it, okay? That's one thing. An address can be duplicate. But another thing is, did you check the name? How many ABC groups are out there? I just threw that out there, okay? ABC group. It has to be more than one. And I just made that up. And I know it has to be more than one in the world. So if you are going to try to get business credit, please check to make sure that nobody else has the name that you have. They may not have it in your state, but what if you just want to check to see if Dun & Bradstreet has it? Why? Because it could cause a problem later on down the road, because you and somebody else has the same address, and now they're not going to know which is which, and your name may come up when they are searching or applying for credit, and vice versa. So it is important to look at that also, okay? Now, I'm not saying you got to come out with these all far-fetched, hard-behind names that nobody knows about, because there still are lots of people who do not have business credit. But what would it hurt you to verify before you do it? How many of you guys have paid 2 and 3 times because you didn't check something the first time, and now you done heard one of us on YouTube or on TikTok talking about these things, and you're like, oh, damn, I put my home address. Now I got to change my business address. They charging for that, okay? So we don't have time to be making amendments and corrections and edits and updates, because they take away from what you should be or could be paying for, which is business credit items to boost your score, okay? So these 5 things are very, very simple. I hope you guys learned something. I am not going to sit over here and sugarcoat and tell you how to get all super high limits so y'all can just go out there and charge stuff irresponsibly and not pay it back. And I'm not saying this is for everybody, but a majority of people who are always trying to find a quick way to get their hands on cash, They usually are the high-risk people that the banks are saying we don't want to deal with, but they're smart enough to come and learn the game. So if you are not savvy like that, you should come and learn the game too. Educate yourself, because you could be hurting yourself just with the wrong name, the wrong industry type, not having a NAICS code, and simply having information out there that you don't need, like a UCC on your business, when you're trying to show that your business is making money, okay? So anyway, I hope I taught you guys something that you did not know. Again, I am live every Monday at 7 p.m. Please bring your questions. I'm live on all platforms, including TikTok, okay? So join me. Bring your questions. Let's talk about these things you've seen in these videos, okay? And also, please, down below, tell me, what have you guys experienced, okay? What brick wall have you hit while you were doing your business credit and you thought you had it going on, and then you had to turn around and go back and do it again, okay? We are all here to help each other so that we can go out and get all that we can, because the money is for us. We just have to know how to go and get it, all right? So thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, share, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.